Some of you guys think that your home is cozy. Like you walk in and go, ooh, it's so warm and autumnal in here. But let me be honest with you. From the outside, it's giving hoarder, it's giving seasonal depression, and it's giving, if I trip over one more textured poof, I'm calling FEMA. Listen, you guys, I get it. We all want our homes to feel soft, inviting, and warm, but there's a very fine line between cozy and chaotic. And unfortunately, most of us have sprinted past that line and landed in something I like to call aesthetic clutter hell. If you don't know, my name is Cooper, and of course, today we are going to talk about what makes a space feel cozy. And the first thing that we need to talk about is the pillow situation. Let me just get this off my chest. You guys do not need 14 throw pillows. I don't care how many colors are in your fall palette. If it takes you longer than 15 seconds to actually get into your bed and get comfortable, and you have to offload an entire pile of pillows first, it's just not functional. And yes, I get it. You know, pillows are comfortable. We all need them on our beds and our couches, but there is a line to which you can overdo it. Here are my general rules of thumb when it comes to how many pillows you should have in your space. So let's start off with the bedroom. I think it's best to have 4 standard pillows on your bed. That way it's just comfortable. And then maybe a sham or two. You know, don't go crazy here. You don't want to have to take a ton of stuff off the bed. But also, if you want to have, you know, a sham on your bed, maybe this will inspire you to get something really unique or interesting or something with a really fun pattern. Less is certainly more here, and you can do something really fun. When it comes to living room specifically, it's definitely more of a case-by-case basis because couches take so many different forms, and so do most seating. When it comes to a standard 3-seater couch, I would always recommend 2 to 3 throw pillows max. If you have a more low-lying modern sofa, I would say 2 smaller rectangular shams probably will look the best. I think a lot of the times when people tend to overdo it when it comes to throw pillows and particularly, it's because they don't feel like their space is interesting enough, so they have to add color through their pillows. And while pillows are a great way to add in color, there are a lot of other ways to do it as well. You know, you can go and find some really unique art online. You can get a really cool throw blanket. We'll talk about that in a minute. I was going through and responding some of the comments to my last YouTube video, and one person stated it really well. And they said that sometimes it's just a matter of paring down your space for you to actually like it and for it to actually feel visually cohesive. And I think that person is 100% right in this scenario. You know, in a similar vein, if you have a million throw blankets kind of draped all over your furniture, that also isn't cozy. It just feels like way too much, and it feels like you're being swallowed by blankets. Like we were saying, you just don't want too much of one thing. So maybe pick 1 or 2 throw blankets that you really love. Throw one on your couch and maybe fold the other one away. I always think that when it comes to throw blankets, it's always best to kind of store them away and bring them out when you need them, because otherwise they're just collecting dust. And if you live in a home like mine where I have wall-to-wall carpeting, you know, that is definitely something of concern. Your home is not a restoration hardware photo shoot and should not be treated as such. For some reason, it's always the people that tend to have throw pillows and throw blankets that are just all over the place that also have so many candles in your space. And I love candles. I think they're amazing. I have one lit behind me. You probably can't see it, but I have one lit behind me and I think they're great. But if you already have so much fabric in your home, it just feels like a fire hazard to me and it kind of scares me. If you don't worry about that, great, but that is something that I worry about, especially since I have pets. And at the end of the day, I'm just kind of like, why? Some of the candles are half burnt, some of them haven't even been lit, and some of them are just collecting dirt and hair. And let me just make this clear for anybody who wants their house to smell good. Lighting 12 scented candles in your home does not make it feel cozy, does not make it smell cozy. It just feels really overstimulating. Do you want your living room to smell like forest, birthday cake, vanilla bean, and ocean breeze at the same time? Like, no, that just doesn't work. And again, solution is very simple here, you guys. Maybe just do 1 or 2 candles and choose not to give your guests a headache. Now, this next thing is going to be a little bit difficult for me to talk about because I've definitely been guilty of this in the past, and that is going to be a plant obsession, but to the point of like a jungle hoarder vibe. Imagine this. You have a pothos, you have a snake plant, an asparagus fern, a monstera, a dragon tree, a bottle tree, and somehow all of them are still in one corner. Are we designing a living room or a rainforest, guys? Like, come on, get it together. And let me just remind you that plants are supposed to be used as something to calm the space, and they certainly shouldn't be all shoved in one corner, not only because it looks bad, but also because it's not great for the plants. They can easily spread pest infestations if a plant happens to get one, and block the light light necessary for maybe the other plants in the room. If you have to move a plant to reach your window, it might be time to consider that you might want to scale down. People are always listing plants on Facebook Marketplace, and so it's a really great way to kind of get rid of them while still getting some extra cash. At the end of the day, just limit the jungle vibe, spread them out, let your plants breathe, let the room breathe, and keep it nice and calm. I want to talk to you guys about something and get your opinion on it, because this is something that's kind of been not necessarily trending, but a little bit more common these days, and that's going to be layering your rugs. And I just wanted to see, what do you guys think of this? Drop a comment down below. I really want to discuss this with you guys a little bit, because it is definitely something that is a little bit tricky, and I think my brain kind of just automatically hates on this a little bit, because you can afford to buy 2 rugs and stack them on top of each other. Is there even like a point to that? Is it really going to be changing the room that much? I don't know. I haven't encountered a client project where I would have to layer rugs in their space, or that's something that they've requested, but it's just like a little bit confusing to me. I feel like in this scenario, it's probably just better to buy 1 rug. Why do we need to be spending thousands and thousands of dollars on multiple rugs just for 1 space? It just doesn't feel necessary to me, and it feels a little bit wasteful in terms of investment. I feel like you shouldn't need 2 rugs, because you should find a rug that's going to be enough for your space. Visually stunning, visually making an impact, and really creating something unique and interesting to look at. Okay, I'm kind of scared to talk to you guys about this one, because you guys haven't been very nice to me lately, and I'm scared to bring this up with you because I'm gonna get flamed in the comments. And that's gonna be that just because your space has dim lighting does not mean it's cozy. Yes, lighting can make things cozier, but it is definitely not the 100% defining factor. I think because of social media, people have kind of started to take this as truth, where you turn off your overhead light, or the so-called big light, and replace it with 7 mismatched lamps, an ugly neon sign, and a disco ball hanging from the ceiling. This just feels like a dorm room to me when people do this. Do I agree that you should always have the big light on at all times? No. But I think it's necessary in certain locations. For example, I love you guys so much, so please don't be offended. This is also a personal preference, but I feel like when I'm in the kitchen, cooking something and chopping something with a knife, that I should probably be able to see pretty well. And obviously I have glasses, so my vision isn't 100%, but lighting is important in that sense too, for safety. And so I do think that the big light is necessary sometimes. For example, if you're having a dinner party, you also want to be able to see the people in the room. Not necessarily having it be harsh or anything like that, but you still want to have clear lines of visibility. A neon sign and a disco ball lamp are not going to make things cozy. They're just going to make it feel cluttered and make it look like you peaked in 2017. So what would I recommend instead of all of this cluttered lighting? Well, I don't think that you should have as many table lamps as physically possible. I don't know if that's a good idea for your electric bill. I would say, just be intentional about the lighting that you do have. Maybe have 1 sconce, maybe have 1 table lamp and 1 floor lamp in the same living room. In my living room that I'm in right now, we have a couple things. We have a floor lamp right here. Behind the camera, I have a little IKEA table lamp, and honestly, that's about it for lighting in here, just because I am still in the process of decorating my home, and it's something that takes a little bit longer. Just put the essentials there, get things that you really love. Don't just throw a lamp in there to throw a lamp in there. Make sure that the lighting simultaneously flatters your face, but also isn't so dim that you walk into a wall. Everything in moderation, guys, including lighting. If your space has a gallery wall, a giant mirror, a moody corner, a pastel shelving unit, and a maximalist bookshelf, all of those areas are going to be competing for relevance. None of it is finished, none of it is coherent. It's giving home decor impulse buy from 6 aesthetics that you don't even subscribe to anymore. I've talked about this before, but this form of overconsumption core is just not okay, and it definitely shouldn't be creeping into your home, especially since furniture can be quite pricey. And this is kind of the big problem that I have with Pinterest. Yes, I think Pinterest is absolutely amazing for inspiration, but I think that it should be taken with a grain of salt, because you shouldn't try and copy any kind of space that was produced on Pinterest. It's just not going to look good in your own space. I mean, unless you share the exact same architecture, but it still is not going to be personal to you. You should take that inspiration and start building from your actual life. For example, one of the first questions that I ask my own clients is, what do you do in this room? What are your goals for it? What do you want the room to feel like when you walk in? Build from that, not from vibes and viral videos, you guys. And I know I'm not one to talk because I'm out here being an influencer or whatever you want to call it, but it is true. I also want to talk talk about neutral spaces for a little bit because I think it's kind of a hot topic in my own comment section and with you guys, because I've seen a lot of you guys defending neutral spaces because of your own mental health. And I absolutely think that's something that you should be prioritizing. And if a neutral space makes you feel happy, you should absolutely have that. But I also see neutral spaces kind of going wrong a lot. And so I wanted to get your take on it. When spaces are all warm neutrals, so this would be bone, gray, grayish, beige, and white, none of it brings its own energy. And then you find yourself burning pumpkin spice candles in there because you don't feel like it feels warm. It's because you don't have any color. And I obviously don't want to tell anyone what to do in this scenario if it's something that impacts their mental health, but I think there is a way to incorporate color while still making a space feel calm, because things are about balance, and the human body likes balance and symmetry. And so, adding a color to the space is going to help balance it out. Add one color that isn't some version of eggshell, even if it's a pastel green, because coziness is not about sameness. And I think that's one of the biggest misconceptions about it in design. It's really about softness and soul. When you go and buy that really sculptural, cool couch, are you thinking about how comfortable it is and how comfortable it's going to be for your guests? It's those kind of things that really make a big difference. Here's the thing. Clutter loves to wear a cozy costume. It loves to kind of trick you and think that things are a little cozier, but in reality, it's just hoarding. If you want real comfort and you want real warmth, that comes from intentional design, not from throwing 19 fuzzy throw pillows and blankets into a room and calling it warm. Now go declutter, light one candle, and enjoy your space again. If you guys enjoyed this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up down below. If you're really struggling with your own space, you can always hire me as your interior decorator. I would absolutely love to help you no matter how big or small your space is. You can find a ton of great information on my website, and just a little surprise for you guys, I'm actually currently working on a new website that's under construction that is going to be really amazing, so keep your eye out for that too. If you have any questions about your own home, feel free to drop them in the comments. I love engaging with the community here on YouTube. You have no idea how much I appreciate you guys coming back every Sunday at 6 a.m. PST and showing up to support me. It truly means the world. I love you guys so much, and I will see you next week.